the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an internet, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/TomaNation2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I'm going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Odumare, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America, and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a now objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the black community of weapons, break up the black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Raheem Quasad Otten, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving it this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
Greetings. In the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one that directs the sonships of millions and trillions of years, the one who made time, the seed of the universe. Known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten. Among the Hebrews as Ansof, Yahweh, Elohim. Among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah. Among the Muslims as Allah, the one God. Among the Rastafarians as Jah Rastafari. Among the Yoruba tribe as Olodumare, Obatala, Shango, and many other Orisha gods. But I bear witness that all the names refer to the same one, almighty, eternal, divine spirit. And it is to that eternal, divine spirit that I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, those children of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are that lost 13th tribe, born here in North America, and that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the world flow through our veins. I greet you all in ancient but yet holy words of peace in the languages of our fathers, of Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Barakani, Alafil, and Ashe. All greeting words and salutations of peace in some of the many different languages of our fathers. I greet you in peace and welcome. Welcome you to the Temple of Mercy Association, aka Toma Nation. I am Brother Minister Raheem Kasset Aten, founder of this great movement, and our co-founder is Brother Minister Omari Jahi Aten, and the first lady of this movement is Sister, I almost said she might have to be a minister soon, Makita Aisha Aten, and welcome. Today, the first month of the Gregorian calendar, and so many things that are going on within this month. See, the Temple of Mercy Association, while I welcome you all to our establishment, is an all-inclusive, Black conscious and a righteous movement. Our dedication is to the upliftment of Black people here in America. And you all know by now that we have what we call prescribed readings. And these prescribed readings have been on the one when it comes to timing. And this month, we like to recognize some of our great warriors that have gone before us. And in recognizing them, in Toma, we give the pro and the con. We give the good and the bad. Why? Because point number one of what we believe in, though, and you heard it earlier, says that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of God. What is that saying? That's saying that they weren't perfect. And we are not perfect. And they made mistakes. And some of those mistakes caused a lot of confusion. Some of those mistakes had some of their members to lose their lives. Some of their mistakes could have been the demise of their movement. And so, like they say about Yeshua, Jesus, they said that he studied the past prophets and messengers before him that he might walk perfect. And what he meant by that is when he see where they went, and usually when you walk down that same path, you're going to meet those same responsibilities. And so when you read the lives of those who came before you, when you read their biographies and their lives and their history, you'll see elements of things that they went through that you might be going through while you're doing the same thing, standing up for your people. And so when you see what they did, you can take the good and bring it into your movement, and that it might work for you all like it worked for them. But you also need to know their stumbling blocks, because you're going to face those too. And if you want to overcome those stumbling blocks, you have to be prepared for it. And so when you see that mistake coming back up, you get ready to overcome it. Even in your own movement, if you've been around 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, you see, you would have to have that same kind of understanding to go forward. And that is not to repeat the mistakes of your being in that movement and your time in that movement, those things that you saw that either you could have been responsible for it or someone else was responsible for those mistakes. But yet and still, if they still exist in your current situation, you need to be looking into that. And so you monitor those who came before you. You monitor the mistakes that you made in your movement in the past. You go over them, you look at them, and when they show up again, you tackle it and erase it. Now, I don't have that much time, so I want to do a little reading. And I want to tell you a little bit of something about each one of these people that we're going to be discussing this month. One is Martin Luther King. He has a book here. It's called Let the Trumpet Sound, A Life of Martin Luther King. Then we have the Book of Khalid, Dr. Khalid Muhammad. His Earth Day actually is today. Former member of the Nation of Islam. And then we have Mahatma Gandhi. And all three of them in this month, Temple of Mercy Association recognizes them. But we also recognize our first representative of this movement, whose Earth Day is this month. Goes by the name of Ezekiel Wells, but his holy name is Ezekiel Kepler. He made his transition in 2003. Worked to help us build the Temple of Mercy, one of our great spokespeople of this movement. We will always recognize those who made, especially the ministers who made a major significance in this movement. we will be recognizing Minister Armand Mac Williams also. And I hope I get a chance to tell you why as we read the stories of these other three people. I don't know if I have my, can you reach into, I think this is, oh, my glasses are here, okay. No, they're not, those are not. In my coat pocket right there should be my glasses. I'm going to read as fast as I can, the little bit I need to read, because I want to get to the point. How many more minutes do I have? Let me see your fingers, y'all. 10, 15, 20, 10, 5. I don't have a clock. I have 25 minutes. Thank you. Well, the first person I'm going to tell you about, thank you, sir, is Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was a black Muslim minister in the Nation of Islam, an activist, a nationalist, became a prominent figure in the Nation of Islam, and later the new Black Panther Party. As a matter of fact, in the rebuilding of the Nation of Islam under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he was the first Supreme Captain, and he was also the first national representative of the Nation of Islam. He was born January 12th, today, happy Earth Day, 1948 in Houston, Texas. Made his transition February 17th at the age of 53 years old. Died in the hospital in Marietta, Georgia. He was actually, they say that he died of a brain aneurysm, but there's a long story behind that. Hopefully I can share that on a particular Sunday, and we'll go for about an hour so that you all would really know what happened. He was suspended from the Nation of Islam and he became the national chairman of the new Black Panther Party until his death in 2001. This book was written by the current chairman of the new Black Panther Party, Malik Zulu Shabazz. He wrote this because he walked with Dr. Khalid and worked with Dr. Khalid under the new Black Panther Party, working closely with him. Dr. Khalid was one of his mentors, and so he wrote a book about him called The Book of Khalid. All right, moving right along, we have Gandhi. It's called Gandhi the Man. He was born October 2nd, 1869 in India, at that time being ruled and ran by the British. He died January 30. So during this month, you see, that's when he got assassinated. He was 78 years old. He was an Indian lawyer. He was living in Africa for 25 years in South Africa as a lawyer. Anti-colonial nationalist, political, whatever that word is. But the main reason why, well, not the main, there's two reasons, but the main one that we really look at was that he, in the method that he used of nonviolence, ran the British out of his country, Britain, and they began to rule themselves. It was through this man, Mahatma Gandhi. And the next person is Martin Luther King. And the reason I say them for last, because Martin Luther King is the one who studied Gandhi and his nonviolent method that he used over in his own country, and he picked some of it up and used it here in a lot of his marches that he did that were nonviolent marches, where he got his strategy from that man, Mahatma Gandhi. And so little bit on King, real quick. He was born Michael King. A lot of people don't know that. Michael King Jr., January the 15th, 1929. He was 39 years old when on April the 4th, 1968, he was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. All right. Baptist minister, activist, one of the most prominent leaders in the civil rights movement from 1955 until his assassination in 68. Advocated civil rights for people of color in the United States through the use of nonviolent resistance and nonviolent civil disobedience. So I'm going to stop there. I just wanted you all to know something about it. But now I'm going to get to a point here that I want to show. I don't really know exactly a good title for what I'm about to talk about. But in all of these different situations, you had someone who worked close with the leader to have a disagreement with the leader on certain things that the leader might have came up with, or certain things the leader put in place, and then they would either get suspended or leave. And this happens a lot in movements. And we know that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, his story dealing with Malcolm X, that was with him, and he was one of the top ministers. He was actually the national spokesman, in a sense, for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But I heard he was also over the FOI at the same time, at one point. You all can correct me if I'm wrong. But not only him leaving the nation after being suspended, but Dr. Khaled under under the Minister Louis Farrakhan, same thing happened. See, and we all know that Jesse Jackson was on the verge of leaving the SCLC, and SN something, whatever. Yeah, SNCC. And he couldn't wait till Martin Luther King was assassinated, and before they pronounced him dead, he was back here in Chicago from Memphis, saying that Martin Luther King died in his arms. And we know that didn't happen. But he didn't go and continue his, he started his own, and it was called Operation Breadbasket at first. Later on to be called Operation Push, People United to Save Humanity. Now, why am I saying this? Well, one of the things that TOMA was set up to do was to break cycles. And one of the cycles we had to but we were actually appointed to break, was this cycle of when the leader and the second person in charge or whatever has a challenge with each other, and then the person either gets suspended or quit. Usually there is a moment in time when they want to come back and talk about the situation or meet with their leader again. And in each one of those instances, the people, the members who were jealous of him anyway, made sure that they blocked any kind of communication from getting back to the leader, that they might never get a chance to reconcile with their leader. And so today being Dr. Khaled's Earth Day, I didn't hear anyone mention it at the Nation of Islam today when I was listening. When on Malcolm X Earth Day, I don't hear anybody mention his Earth Day. You see? So my thing is, we don't have that challenge in the temple. That's why we're all inclusive. That's why we do things just a little bit different. Because if anyone want to get back to the leader, I think they should be able to. And I don't think the members of the temple should be able to block that. So you have to recognize who you put in place, because it's a lot of jealousies that happen because we still human. See, So that's what happened. And with Minister Ezekiel and Minister Amon, when they had left Tomo, see, they leave, and they wanted to get back with me, I had opened that door and said, we will never close the door to people trying to come back. God is my witness. Ezekiel didn't like that. Amon didn't like that. Omari didn't like that. See, but I kept that door open, and those two had to use the same door to get back to me, to sit down and talk to me at Daily's restaurant. And I'll go back into more of that later as to how that was a cycle that was broken. But let's see now what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said about that type of situation taking place and how it can be curtailed, because what he said, we need to use it in our movements and organizations today. And I'm hoping that I got enough time to read it. A brother, Jabril Muhammad, who made his transition this year, very wise brother in the nation. I mean, spiritually wise, esoterically wise. You can read Farrakhan the Traveler in the middle part of any one of the newspapers, and you'll see how deep that man was. He asked the minister a question. He said, Brother Minister, this first question concerns a universal phenomenon which affects the relationship between a leader and his staff and his followers, divine leaders in particular. See, now he got specific, leaders who operate after the manner of God. From time to time, gaps develop, and it does, as the leader moves ahead. The followers work to keep pace. There's been a degree of misunderstanding among some with respect to certain moves that God has directed you to make. I go through that a lot. In the fulfillment of the mission of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Mine is in the fulfillment of the mission that God placed on me to do. Among them, it involves the way you've come to relate to the broad community, including the Caucasian race. Please comment. Now, here's what he said. The first thing I shall do is analyze why gaps appear between leaders of consequence, particularly divine leaders, and their followers at given times in the growth and development of them, the followers, in their mission. Whenever a leader is chosen by God, he is chosen oftentimes thousands of years before he comes to birth. He is formed in his mother's womb under certain circumstances which make him for that specific job that he is to do. By equipping him with the basic material at birth. As he comes into the knowledge of his assignment or his mission, the next and greatest need for him is to find the adequate and proper help to fulfill the mission that God has given him. This is where the problem begins. First, he has to grow to understand his mission. In the course of his growth, persons come to him to help him at every stage of his evolution. He's going to use the evolutionary stage of a child from the day of its inception until its birth. He says, as people do not always evolve with the leader, some fall off when the leader is in the seminal stage. That means when he just started, he's using birth. The seminal stage, you're really nothing. But God inspired you to do something. God inspired Gandhi. God inspired Martin Luther King. And God inspired Khalid to join the Nation of Islam and whatnot. Some fall off, though. Some fall off at the seminal stage. Well, we saw that happen already, right? Some fall off when the leader is a clot, beginning to form now. Some fall off when the leader is embryonic. Some fall off when the leader is in the fetus stage. Some fall off when the leader is a child in understanding. Some others fall off as he begins to mature. There are those who think they fully know him and his teachings when they become acquainted with him in the clot stage. How many times y'all heard me teach on that's what happened and has happened in Toma? And the histories that we teach on the different leaders during the course of our prescribed readings. You see that. He said, however, such people lose sight of him as he evolves. And they go out thinking they fully know him and his teachings. I hear people always talking about that. I ain't gonna stop them. They teach what they know. Y'all hear? They teach what they know. But a gap develops and it widens between them and the leader as he goes through the clot stage, embryonic, fetus, child, and finally becomes the mature man. What can prevent this? This is the part I want to get on tape, hopefully. What can prevent this? Leaders of organizations, especially divine leaders. His help has to evolve with him. He's going to tell how. All of this help may not necessarily have been formed under the unique circumstances that led to his evolutionary development from before he was actually in physical form. In other words, those thousands of years that he was already set up to be here, everybody else may not be under that kind of thing because they don't have that special assignment. He said, even while that which produced him was being formed. So now he comes into the world constitutionally fit for his mission. But his helpers may or may not have that base. They may not have that brilliance. They may not have that insight or the foresight which comes from being divinely prepared. Not academically, divinely. The word divine means after the manner of God. So his helpers at best come according to their own understanding of this man, his mission, and his teachings. At the moment in time when they first encounter him, they come according to their understanding, according to the mission, the teaching. But as he, the leader, continues to grow and evolve, change and mature, perhaps they will not see him in the same way in the next phase of his development as they saw him in the stage when they first came to help him. Why? Because he sufficed a particular need that was very personal and individual to them. See, usually when a person comes into this type of a movement, a spiritual movement, that leader said something or struck a nerve or something that they said, well, I need to be there. In other words, he served a particular need for that person to be there. But once that need is met, then they move on. But I always used to say, once your need is met, there are some other people out there that are in need that you need to reach out and get and bring in and pass down. If this movement was good enough for you, why shouldn't it be good enough for someone else? If it helped you, why are you so stingy that you don't want to go and get someone else to come and learn it? Or why aren't you teaching them what you were taught? You got to think about that. All right? So when that need is met, what happens? When it's being met, they claim him as their leader. As he evolves, as the leader evolves, more and more. If they don't grow with him, a gap develops. Therefore, God gives his servant helpers from himself. God keep bringing people. That help is the best help because these persons grow along the same lines the servant grew. They are formed in the same way he is formed. Their hearts are formed in the same way his heart is formed. Therefore, these helpers see into this man what other helpers may not see. See, even inside your movement, there's a chosen few. Even in your movement. And that chosen few, let me read the rest of this. So, because the latter were not made from God to be his helpers in the same way or degree as the former. However, they, the latter, accept the role of a helper. Nevertheless, if they don't stay, here's the key, in constant submission, and constant obedience, and constant study. That's why you hear me say that in my prayer about study. Constant study, and in constant growth If you don't keep all of them moving, then gaps will develop between the teacher and the student that will lead the student sometimes to be critical of the teacher when the teacher grows beyond the particular need of that helper that motivated that helper to first want to help. This is the way that I will answer that question. This is how Minister Farrakhan answered that question. Now I read this because of how it was given to me. This is a whole book called Closing the Gap. The Nation of Islam had not put the book out yet. We were at a Savior's Day convention. And after the minister had spoke, the members of the nation was to receive their book. He said it that day. And a guy that knew me, he saw me. I was with the OMIB and all, and he ran up and gave me the greetings and all. And I said, man, he finna give y'all a book, man, and y'all. And before I could finish it, he said, man, it's yours. Hit it, put it like at my chest. Hey, it's yours. I said, but he said, look, brother, it's yours. You can't beat me loving you, brother. And then he walked away. That's how I knew it was for us. Because the public hadn't had it yet. So the day that I bought it to us, I knew it was for us. And we went through it. Most of us went on and bought the book when it came out. It became part of our prescribed reading for a while. See? But again, just to have a book, just to have a Bible, just to have a Quran don't mean nothing. If you can't take them words up off of that Bible, Quran, and book and place it in your life and use it in your life, it means nothing. And so if you're not in constant prayer, what did it say? Constant, I can't remember them all, but I'm going to say it again. Constant obedience. If you're not in constant, here we go. Study, that's the key one I was looking for, more than any of them. Study to show yourself approved, the Bible says. And when we say, read something and it's part of our prescribed readings, we had some people in the temple say, oh, I'm past that now. We're above that now. Even though they see the teacher constantly getting new ideas and everything from reading the Bible and Quran, you'll get a member in your movement who is not in close contact, studying with him or having meetings with him to feel like they arrived and overcame. And they start straying away. The gaps start widening. And then they begin to go because they think that they got it already. That's what happens. See, so the point I'm making is that we can't repeat the mistakes of the past. We can, but we shouldn't, because we done had so much and so many people that have led the way and set examples for us as a movement, as a people. I'm talking to the Black nationalist people. I'm talking to the Black activists, those who are truly for the liberation of our people and who are not using our condition as a way and means for them to build their individual empire or their individual coffers. This is for those who really, truly know that the Black nationalist movement is dissolving because we have people who are now more like our enemy, open enemy, than they are like themselves and their true selves. So they've fallen away. So brothers and sisters, if we don't have our nationalist movement, we can never become a nation. If we don't have our nationalist movement, we will just blend right on in and accept all the oppression that the white structure is throwing at us. And in the end, years down the line, we will be extinct. So thank you all for listening. Prayerfully that you got something from that, and keep listening, keep learning, because we will be talking about these great men. I leave you as I greeted you in the beginning, in peace, hotel, shalom, assalamu alaikum, abarigani, alafia, and ashe. Black power,